Hello beautiful soul, welcome back with me cindyaco. In this channel, I talk about spirituality, self-development, self-love, vibration, consciousness, and so much more for helping authentic people like you become powerful in purpose. In my previous video, I've talked about higher self and ego self. In this episode, I want to dive deeper and talk about the voice that comes from your higher self and the voice that comes from your ego self. Intuition and ego. Maybe you are not strange anymore with your intuition and your ego, but how to know the difference between your inner voice or your intuition and the voice that comes from your mind or your ego. In short, in this episode, I want to talk about the difference between your intuition and your ego. But before we go further, I want to remind you to subscribe this channel now. Click the subscribe button and then hit the bell button below so you can keep updating how to improve yourself to become authentically powerful in purpose. So let's talk about intuition. Intuition is a voice that comes from your higher self or your soul. And your intuition always right because your soul always step ahead before your physical body. If you know how to listen to your higher self, your life becomes so much easier. But if that really like that, why most of people don't listen to their intuition and listen to their ego? It's because your intuition maybe feels good, but it seems hard. That's why people rarely do listen to their intuition, because people tend to focus on what they can see rather than what they feel. Because what they can feel is something that out of their control. Your intuition maybe feels strange in the beginning, but it will lead you to something greater, because your soul always knows the best about you. Steve Jobs once said, "You only have limited time, so don't be trapped by dogma or opinions of others, and start to listen to your heart and intuition, because somehow they know the best or the right for you." Your inner voice, your intuition, always comes in form of peaceful, loving, compassion, courage, something that difficult in the beginning to do, but always worth at the end, always deserve better than everything that seems easier at the beginning. So that is intuition or your inner voice. Your mind or your ego maybe seems easier at the beginning, but your ego always tend to protect you so you will not fall again or repeat every hard experience in your past. But oftentimes, how your ego attack you or trying to control you even bring you more difficulties, because your mind or your ego comes in form of attacking, anxiety, overthink, depressed, try to avoid taking risks, always stay in comfort zone, and always feel insecure, and everything that based on fear, because your ego comes from your mind and your mind comes from your physical dimension. That's why your mind is hard to understand intuition, because your mind can comprehend something that they can recognize. Remember, your mind is limited, but your soul is immortal, your soul is infinite. And you know what? Your intuition can be practiced. Just like you go to the gym to build your muscle, that's how you can practice to listen to your intuition. It takes focus, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes a deep willingness from yourself that comes from yourself to learn, to listen, and to trust your intuition. You may not good at the first time, but by the time, if you keep practice that and you keep doing what you committed to yourself, to listen and to trust your intuition, your inner guide is your inner compass. If you want to know how to sharpening, how to practice to listen and trust your inner voice or your intuition, I will help you, and I put on the description below. The good news is I will help you to go deeper with yourself, and you're not alone. I will help you to do your inner work. If you didn't subscribe yet, go subscribe now, and see you again in my next video. Stay with me, cindyaco. Bye bye.